Hi, Pisces Sun and Rising. Welcome to your May 2023 Astro Update. It's Raina here. Well, I think Pisces is going to fare well in May because there's a lot of energy that forms harmonious angles to you, trines and sextiles. Namely speaking, a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, that's a trine to you, fellow water sign. And same with Venus going into Cancer. And then we have the Taurus energy, which sextiles you. Yeah, it's really great. On the first of the month, Pluto goes retrograde at 22 minutes of Aquarius. So technically speaking, when Pluto went into Aquarius, this was Pluto going into the house that you rule, which is the 12th house. But it only got to 22 minutes of Aquarius. So, for all intents and purposes, it has remained in your 11th house, and in June will officially go back into Capricorn. You will also have another retrograde like this in 2024, where the same thing happens. And then 20 years in, oh my God, 20 years of Pluto in your 12th house. Are you kidding me? Pisces? Well, I mean, that's a great time to clear out a lot of karma, I guess. So let's talk about it in terms of the 11th house. So the 11th house is the house of friendships and groups that you belong to. It's also your long-range goals, so your hopes and wishes, in other words. Pluto can be power. It can be obsession. When Pluto is in your 11th house, you may get help from people in high places. And this would have been likely already occurred because Pluto has been here for 11 years. 11. Why did I say 11? 11th house. 15 years. But of course, everybody's chart is different, so I can't really say that just definitively, but I'll just say it's like, if we look at it a certain way where everybody has the same thing going on, then it would be 15 years. But it's been there, let's put it that way. And it's going back there. In June, it will officially go back into Capricorn. So we're going to talk about it, the retrograde, from that perspective, because power, there's outer power and there's inner power. So Pisces can be a dependent sign and a passive sign. Now, I say that, people do have a negative connotation about dependency, and rightfully so, but to me, it can also be a situation where the person is believing that they're deserving enough of having other people help them. I mean, there's a positive way to look at this as well. So I don't want to make it one-sided. It's just that when it gets excessive. So you may have benefited from people who maybe even like people in politicians, that kind of thing, government, or friends that you have who have that kind of sway or influence. And now that Pluto is going within, because it's retrograding, it brings all of that within. Where is where does true power lie? Is it in the outer world or is it inside? And this being the area of hopes and wishes, I said hopes and wishes, but also gains, meaning that this is coming from career and possibly some kind of financial benefit. In these particular situations, this can lead to getting wealthy through your career, for instance. But then when we have a retrograde, we have to kind of look and see what is true wealth, because that might be something that is distorted sometimes, where people are so focused on dollar amounts that they forget that the true power may be in being a healer. Pluto can be the healer, and Pisces certainly resembles those remarks. So that might be something they're going through, as well as this. I wouldn't call it an identity crisis, but really putting the power back where it belongs, first and foremost, is within the self. And so any goals that you're looking to achieve, it's not to say that you can't have others help you, but you focus first on yourself. On the 5th, we have a lunar eclipse at 14 degrees of Scorpio, fellow water sign. This is going to be in your 9th house, Pisces. This is the house of long distance travel and the higher mind. This could be a spiritual download that really changes the way that you view life itself. And the reason is because the 9th house can be your life philosophy. And it may dawn on you something very wise that takes you out of a certain mindset and puts you somewhere else, and you're able to thrive because of it. It also can be a situation where maybe you just end college forever. Now, this is May, so this would be the time when it's all done. Now, if you were finishing things off, it might be that you get your doctorate, because that would be the grand finale. But in some cases, if you've been on again, off again, this could be the final off, where you just are like, I don't need somebody else's guarantee of something to be like a false, what I would call like something that a person uses to feel good about themselves, but it's really like a security blanket instead of doing something for the right reasons. So you might be like, I don't really want to go to college. I don't get anything from it. I'm being put in debt and I'm done. And I don't care if my parents are disappointed in me. I'm done, going back and forth. And the only reason you're really going back and forth is because maybe you sense that you're disappointing someone else, and then realizing it's your life. On the 7th, we have a transit of Venus into Cancer. And Cancer is the 5th house for you. So this is a great place for Venus, because the 5th house can be romance. So this is very romantic. And this can be also creative stuff. And Venus is, a planet associated with beauty and art. So this may be a time where you're really appreciating art. Maybe you're going to museums. Maybe you've met somebody that you feel romantically connected to. Also, the 5th house is a house of pleasure. So it's permitting yourself to just enjoy life. Maybe you are playing more than you're working and you feel good about that. Mars is here as well until the 20th. So there can even be some kind of competitive sports, for instance, that the person is involved with. On the 14th, Mercury turns direct at almost 6 degrees of Taurus. We're ushering in some Taurus energy. And for you, Pisces, this is the 3rd house. So all of this is in this area that is very communicative. Gemini's domain. So Mercury direct here is very helpful for getting your communications back on track. Maybe even like the mail was screwed up for you, and things like that. And so things should get sorted out. On the 16th, Jupiter goes into Taurus. So for the next year, you're going to have Jupiter in the third house. And if you are involved in any way in the teaching profession, this should be a very aligned time for you. You shouldn't have any trouble finding work. And if you want to do additional work in this field, that should be good for it as well. And if you are a writer, write that book. Don't delay. Do something that really speaks to your soul. Sometimes people talk themselves out of what they came here to do. At least that's what it seems like to me. But you may discover that your talents are way more than you thought they were, because I think the third house can even be your skill set, your talents. Jupiter can be very expansive and positive about that. On the 19th, we have a new moon here at 28 degrees of Taurus. So, new beginnings with love, some female. Well, no, why am I saying female? Some of you may be starting a writing project, and certainly with Jupiter there, it can be that way as well. But maybe you're communicating with someone. If there's any kind of situation that involves love, it might be online with the third house. The third house is social media, so it can be new developments with social media, including blogs. On the 20th, Mars goes into Leo, and that's your 6th house, and that's the house of work, also your health. So if it is involved with your health, for instance, this could be in the form of exercise, because there is like a physicality with Mars. So you may be, like if anybody is trying to lose weight or to tone their body too, feel more trim by toning their body, they may use some kind of exercises to isolate different parts of their body that they want to work on, or just overall, I guess. And also with work matters, this can lend itself to being very, maybe you're working overtime, or you're devoting a lot of your energy to your work. And in some cases, because this can be the workplace, Mars here can indicate some kind of conflict in the workplace. And so for those people, if you're not the one who is creating this Pisces, really observe what is happening and why you think it is happening before you strike back or quit, so that you can decide what is the best method for you. I'm not saying that this is going to happen for everybody, but just, putting it out there. And on the 21st, we have the sun going into Gemini. And so the sun is representing this house that is home and family. And so another thing too that the third house can be are your siblings. Maybe you're having a new type of relationship with them. An example would be that maybe when you were younger, if you fought more and now you're getting along better because Jupiter they can help you. There is some blessing that is connected to them, and that new moon is very helpful, supportive of that as well. And like I said, with Mars in the sixth house, watch out for conflicts with coworkers. You don't have to engage. You can simply see what they're up to, and maybe, there's some way that you can, get them to stop. But if you participate, then of course, you're going to be seen as part of the problem too. So you're actually putting your attention on your home life with the sun going into the fourth house. Okay, Pisces, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.